Hi everybody, my name is Melissa and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the books that I want to read in September. It's been a long time since I've done a monthly TBR, and once I realized that G from Book Roast was redoing her whole entire magical readathon and it was beginning in the month of September, I knew I was going to make a dedicated video just for this specific month. I have participated in the magical readathon for several years, ever since the entire time I've been on BookTube, even before then actually. I think I started the second year after it had started. But obviously after all of the controversies that were happening with J.K. Rowling and that are continuing to happen, all of that stuff, she ended up canceling it, and obviously a lot of people, you know, were very supportive in that fact, and I was too. So I'm very excited that she ended up redoing her entire readathon in a totally made up world that she created herself, which is absolutely amazing. Like, this is so in depth. I will leave the link to her announcement video down below if you want to check it out and see what she talks about and how she explains everything, because it's so detailed. Like, I just can't even explain it. There's a lot of prompts that are involved in this. You have the portion where you're trying to get into the magical school, and obviously there's several different quests that you go on along this path, and technically you only have to read 2 books for this to make it into the school, which is going to be in April of next year. But you can start creating your character as well, which is absolutely amazing. But you don't have to do it this month. You can take your time up until the month of April of next year to actually be a part of that. I'm not too good at explaining this, so I'll leave the link down below so you can check her video out where she explains it in much better detail than I could ever do. And let's go ahead and get started with the prompts and the books that I have chosen. So traditionally I've always done a TBR for this readathon as well. I usually will choose a couple different books that fit each prompt so I can pick and choose, and half the time I ended up, you know, reading most of them, or I end up going off and just picking something completely different to fit those prompts, which sometimes does happen because I'm a very big mood reader and sticking to a hard and fast TBR just isn't my style. But we're gonna, you know, go with it and see what happens. I have my Traveler's Key, which it's like a whole Google Docs that she has and that she's created. And anyways, let's go ahead and start with the very first prompt. The first one is the Novice Path Entrance, which is read a book with a map. So there are several books that I could choose for this one, and I have 2 books that one has been on many different TBRs in the past of mine. That would be The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. This is vampires. It's set in New Orleans. The map is on the front of the book. It's red on the cover, which is another prompt that is later on in the character ones, but I'm not sure if I'm going to even be able to participate in that because I have just been very slow at reading. But anyways, this is one that I've had on my TBR for a very long time. I've put on many different TBRs. I need to finally read it, especially since there is a second book out, and I really do like Renee Ahdieh's books, the ones that I have read, so I'm really excited about this. I need a good vampire story in my life again. For my next book on the same prompt is going to be Brandon Sanderson's The Bands of Mourning. So this is the second era Mistborn trilogy. Let me see. I know that there's a map in here because I saw it. There's a bunch of different ones, so there's one right there. But yes, this is the second era of the Mistborn trilogy. These covers are just not very pretty, but anyways, I really enjoy this one. This one takes place many years after the first Mistborn trilogy, and it's about Wax and Wayne. I want to say that's their names. Yes, Waxilium, and this was just a bunch of fun. I read the first one as a buddy read with Melanie, and we had a bunch of fun reading it. I really enjoyed stepping back into the world. I do suggest that you read the first Mistborn trilogy because there's a lot of spoilers in the other trilogy after that, obviously. And I just really like how a lot of these worlds are connected. And yeah, I don't really have too much to say, but I do want to continue on with this trilogy. Need to read it. So the second prompt is going to be Ash Torn Tree. So a book that keeps tempting you, or on top of your TBR. So I have 2 books again for this prompt. I picked 2 for each of them. The first one is Neon Gods by Katie Robert. I recently just got this book from one of my really great bookish friends on the book community, Laura Daz from Chapters We Love. She's absolutely fabulous. But yes, this is the first book in this new series that she traditionally published, and it's a Hades and Persephone retelling. I think it has like fake dating or fake marriage, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, don't know too much about it. Really excited. I just love everything that she writes, which I've said many times in a bunch of my videos. But yeah, and the second book that I chose is the second book after Radiance by Grace Draven. This one's called Eidolon? I have no idea. But anyways, it's the second book in this series. I think there's a trilogy. I don't know. I could be lying. I have no idea. But this is the second book. The first one was so good. It was kind of this hate to love, become friends, and then become lovers. What I really enjoyed about this story, or the first one rather, was the whole idea of finding the other person repulsive and getting to know them on a more platonic level as friends, and really listening to what they have to say and not letting the kind of outside appearance really control how you feel about the person. And I really enjoyed that aspect of the first book, and I'm really excited to continue on. The human in the story, our main character, you know, she's living in this new culture and trying to figure out her ways, or their ways, and how she can kind of fit into this culture where everybody thinks she's ugly and she thinks they're ugly, and kind of coming to terms and really living the life she's supposed to live. So this one was really good. The first one was, so I'm really excited to finally continue on with the second one. The third prompt is The Mists of Solitude, or Read a Standalone. I have, let me see, a couple different ones on here. So I chose 2. One of them is All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata, the queen of slow burn. This one's on Kindle Unlimited. I don't know too much. I think this is about a girl who ends up moving to some mountain, I think, and I don't know if she's running away from something, and she ends up getting into a relationship with her neighbor. That's all I know. I really liked Wait For It by Mariana Zapata, which I think has a very somewhat similar kind of storyline, I want to say, but I could be wrong. But anyways, Queen of Slow Burn, if you love that really good, excellent build-up, read one of her books. They're fabulous. The second one that I have is The Witch's Wolves, which is a smutty novella that I picked up from the amazing Riley Marie. She has really great reading taste, and I always feel like I can find some really good novels and books from her recommendations, and she really enjoyed this one, so I'm excited. I added it to my TBR. This is also in Kindle Unlimited, so I'm really excited. The fourth prompt is Ruin of the Sky. So read a book featuring ghosts, haunted house, or other supernatural elements. So obviously we could have this one right here, who I'm not really sure. He's an alien race maybe, but I can't really remember. We have vampires right here, and let's see, where is that book? I don't think I grabbed it yet. I also was thinking about picking up this one, Heart Song by TJ Klune, who I have read. I think I read his other book for the last readathon, if I'm not mistaken, the second one. But yeah, I really want to continue on. There's 4 books in this series. It concluded last year, and I really need to finish it. But werewolves in this one, I love these. These are male-male romances, but yet not always a romance. There's definitely some really hard-hitting topics, and just really tugs at your heartstrings and gives you all the feels. I think I really want to read this one. I don't know. There's lots of books, and they're very, very long on this TBR, so we'll see. Obsidian Falls, or read a book. Obviously we're reading a book. Read a thriller. I chose The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. This is one that I recently purchased. I started it like a month or 2 ago when I purchased it, and I didn't get very far. I have it on audiobook as well, which is how I read The Silent Patient, which I adored, which is by the same author. So I'm really excited. This one's a dark academia book as well, and that's really all I know about it. Tower of Rumination, or a 5-star book prediction. I don't know which book I want to read for this prompt. A bunch of these obviously would be a 5-star prediction, like The Maidens. Heart Song is one of them. Neon Gods by Katie Robert. All of these are 5-star predictions because I love these authors. I trust them. Brandon Sanderson. So again, like you can't use the same book for multiple prompts, but I like to mix and match, and I end up picking up other books that aren't on my TBR midway through or even at the beginning of the month. And since my reading has been very slow lately, I kind of want to just kind of go with the flow and pick up books that I want to read when I want to read them. So Aurelium Academy is the last and final prompt, and that's going to be a book with a school setting. So I did a whole video on books with school settings, but I'm really excited because the 13th book in the Academy series just recently landed on my Kindle this month, and I'm so excited. Then I saw that this was a prompt for it, and I was going to save it for this month and finally get to it. So if you don't know, the Academy series is a high school reverse harem story, and I've been reading it for like the past 5 years. It's still going. Book 13, bring it on. I love this one. It's about Sang. She has a really hard home life. She meets these boys as soon as she moves into this new town, and things kind of escalate and go from there, and just crazy adventures, lots of fun, things that are quite unbelievable, but at the same time, like, you're like, well, maybe that'd be kind of cool if something like that did exist. But anyways, I really love this series. I really love this author, and yeah, very excited to finally pick this book up. So these are a lot of books, and I honestly have no idea what I'm going to pick up first, what I'm going to do, because technically you only have to read 2 books to pass this quest to get into the school in April, which I think is a doable, you know, thing. And there's lots of books that I'm very excited to finally pick up. I am not going to choose the character one just yet. I'm gonna wait until closer, or maybe even next month, to do those prompts, because let's be honest, I am working a lot more than I was in the past when I was doing this readathon. So here we are, and yeah, limited time to be reading. I can't read all day every day like I used to, sadly. But anyways, if you have any recommendations for me or have read any of these books and want to chat about it, talk about it in the comments down below. I hope you have a great day and happy reading. Bye.